Hey y'all, and welcome back. Today, oh my gosh, today I have got a crazy in-depth video for you comparing and breaking down really high-paying, in-demand freelance writing jobs. This is probably one of the most in-depth videos I've done ever on my channel, as well as definitely the most in-depth video you're going to find on this topic, because not only are we going to discuss what these jobs are, what these types of freelance writing jobs are, I'm going to give you tips for breaking in, general idea of rates, as well as client ideas. So we're really going to get in here and go super in-depth with this topic today. So what they pay, who the potential clients are, and what the skills are that you need to get started. Super, super in-depth. So close out of everything else you're doing, get ready to take some notes, and we will dive in here. But first, real quick, why listen to me? This is something you should always be asking yourself when you come across random info online, especially if this is your first video seeing me, right? Okay, so here are some of the reasons why. I made $5K a month writing online 4 months after losing my job, even though I was inexperienced with no college degree or connections. I went on to make over $8K a month freelance writing and then build a multiple six-figure business and travel full-time, which you can see me doing here on the left in beautiful Oregon. And I've worked with so many amazing companies and people in top freelance writing and cold emailing for 8 years. I cannot believe that when I say it, but it has really been 8 years. Y'all who've been here with me over that amount of time, you already know. But yeah, I'm not saying any of this stuff to brag. I just want you to know, as you should, like where you're getting this information, why you should listen to me in the first place. All right. Now we got that out of the way, let's dive in with the first type of freelance writing job, which is blog post copywriting. You can see an example of a blog post over here on the right. Of course, it's just like a little snippet, a little screenshot of it. But yeah, most of us know what a blog post is by now, right? These things have been on the internet a long time. And this type of writing job just means you're going to go write blog posts for clients. Now, to get the highest pay in this niche, and this is important, you need to learn blog post copywriting skills, right? Not just writing words, not just being like a content writer, an actual blog post copywriter, meaning you know about things like how to get readers to convert to maybe leads or maybe customers or etc. And as far as your marketing, you'll want to make sure you're targeting a profitable clientele in a specific niche industry. So for example, not just being a blog post copywriter, but being a finance blog post copywriter or a mental health blog post copywriter. Very, very important. Now, let's talk about the pay. So while this particular type of freelance writing job / niche may not pay the most per project, it can pay very well and consistently because you can get clients on retainer, which is so amazing. One of my favorite things, making it the #1 copywriting niche for beginners with no experience. I say that because blog post copywriting can be very, very, way easier to break into than something like sales page writing where clients are going to expect conversions and different results from you, right? With blog post copywriting, you can kind of start where you are now, as long as you can research and write copy that is, broken up properly and follows the basics, you can definitely get started. So pay per project varies widely. It can be anywhere from $200 to $1,000. Now, you will see these type of gigs everywhere online for like $50 or less. Don't do that. We should not even be opening our fucking laptops for less than $200, okay? So important. Yeah, I have to say that because I don't want you to be getting underpaid. But yeah, speaking of retainers, for example, and this example is based on an actual blog post copywriting gig that I had long-term, which I loved, $400 per blog post, 1 post per week every month is $1,600 a month freelance writing. And by the way, yes, you can charge that much early in your career if your marketing is done right, just like I did. Now, if you want to learn how to market yourself and get clients, take a look at the little link in the top right-hand corner here, 1kfreelancewriting.com. Head over there and take my free, totally free marketing class on how to make your first $1,000 freelance writing. But yeah, this is kind of what you can expect as far as professional pay for blog posts. And I do have a blog post copywriting class, a free guide with a bunch of niches in it. So I will just leave the insane amount of free resources I have for you down below in the pinned comment as well as the description box. So let's keep talking about blog post copywriting. We've talked about pay, but who are the clients in this niche? Who can you maybe cold email or pitch or reach out to? Well, potential clients are going to vary super widely depending on the niche industry, okay? So a finance writer is going to be pitching someone way different than a pet care writer. It really just depends, but something that I will say to give you a tip for finding clients in this niche, you will want to pitch mostly companies who already have an active blog, because we want to be pitching companies who already value what we do. It signals that they value blog posts if they already have an active blog, and they're therefore are probably really likely to pay well for them. Comment below with questions about this because it varies so widely. I can't possibly cover every potential niche and clientele in any video, like ever, because it would just be an unending video. But I would love to help you out and answer any questions. And by the way, if you want to learn about pitching, again, go to that link you see up there in the top right-hand corner, 1kfreelancewriting.com. Now, we've talked about pay, potential clients. So what are the skills that you're going to need to do this? As far as skills, you can start where you are now. I want to make that clear. But what your goal should be is to learn how to write blog post copy that drives real business results for your clients. So traffic and leads, and maybe you use SEO, or maybe you include like different opt-ins to help them build their email newsletter audience, okay? This is so different than just words on a page and content writing. That's the kind of junk that pays $50, $75. Like I said, we don't even want to open our laptops for that kind of pay. And I'm not saying it's like a tiny amount of money, but it's just not enough, right? I don't care if you're a beginner. I don't care if you've been doing this forever. No one deserves to make, shit pay, basically, as a freelance writer. And when you actually break it down, that is almost always going to be shit pay. But these copywriting skills, those are the difference between a $50 content writer and an $800 blog post copywriter, okay? Very, very important to make that distinction. And like I said, you can totally start out where you are now. When I started out, I didn't know how to write these like amazing business blog posts that convert readers to subscribers and have call to actions and all this crazy shit, right? I just knew basic copywriting skills, which I'm self-taught. You can also learn online like you're doing right now. Start where you are and just charge that good rate, and then increase it as you're growing your copywriting skills over time. Very important. And like I said, this is actually the best niche for beginners because you can start with very basic copywriting skills and take on some simple projects. Go find a client right down the street and just be like, I'm going to take them on, and it's not going to pay the greatest and whatever, but I am going to get paid fairly and I'm going to get a testimonial from it. That's the kind of things you want to be thinking about, how you can quickly grow your income and your skill set. So these clients you may start out with in the beginning will have much lower expectations than, say, a sales page copywriting client who might be expecting conversions and revenue. That is why it is so easy to break in with this niche, which, by the way, when I started out as a little baby copywriter / beginner, this was my niche. I was writing marketing and B2B blog posts, mostly for software as a service company. So that is a very good niche. Pro tip. All right. So you can learn how to write blog posts, or like basically what clients look for, in my free blog post copywriting training, the bit.ly link here, or you can go to FEIfreelanceblogging.com, and that is actually my paid course on how to write blog posts that clients want step by step. I'll put all those links, as always, down in the description below. Okay. Number 2 type of freelance writing job that can pay very, very well, and is definitely beginner friendly, is website copywriting. Here on the right, you can see my lovely little website. I should probably change my pictures out now that I have dark hair, but that's okay. This is the Writing Revolt website at writingrevolt.com. I wrote all the copy for my own website, and of course I've written for clients as well. But it's pretty straightforward. We all know what a website is. It just means writing website copy for clients. So to get the highest pay in this niche, you've got to commit to growing your copywriting skills and also make sure you're targeting a profitable clientele in specific niche industry. Similar to blog post copywriting, right? We want to have a specific niche, website copy for pet companies, for, cannabis companies, for technology businesses, and Just like with blog post copywriting, okay? You don't have to have these crazy skills day one, not out the gate. No one does. Well, pretty much no one, right? No one's born with this. What you're going to do is start with clients who may be like a smaller client, a local client who has lower expectations. Because look, some people really just need words that aren't fucking terrible, right? They really just need writing. Writing is a skill set that not everybody has. And especially at small businesses or local businesses, like they may not have an internal employee who can even like write coherently at all. So they just need some content there. They're not expecting conversions and all this crazy shit. Those are some of the clients you can go for when you start out. And while you're doing those projects, build your skill set and go after clients who maybe do have that higher expectation. So let's talk about the pay. It can vary widely based on the scope of content, the client's goals. In other words, small business website content versus actual conversion copy where they're going, all right, we need this many people to like click on this and that and whatever. So it can vary widely. But the great thing about this niche is you can start small with a local business. So I started small. I remember one of my first ever copywriting projects was this like massive overhaul of this guy's like small business website. And he just needed so much content, but it ended up being really cool because it allowed me to sort of break in and get one of my first clients. But anyway, you can do the same thing and still charge hundreds per page, even with zero experience. And then, like I said, after you grow your skills, you start to charge more and reflect those skills, get your testimonials, all that stuff in your marketing. So your pay is going to increase with this as your skill set increases, right? But never, ever, ever, ever feel like you have to sell for pennies, even as a beginner. Some companies truly just need someone who can string together some words, because not everyone can. So who are the clients in this niche? Just about every company out there, right? Just about every company out there is going to need website copy in some way, shape, or form. Potential clients may vary widely depending on the niche, but you can comment below if you have questions about this, okay? You can just think of it as, what companies have a website? Probably almost all of them. So there's a lot of options out there. Now, as with virtually every other type of copywriting, you will need to have a clear niche industry. So website copywriting for tech businesses, website copywriting for e-commerce. And you'll want to have a pro writer website that is optimized for that niche industry before you start pitching. Very, very important. This is especially important for beginners who have no experience, because if you have no experience, you don't have trust building elements throughout your marketing that experienced people would have, like testimonials, big fancy bylines on large websites. It's more important for you than anyone else to have a clear niche and have a writer website that is optimized to sell your services. Like I said, I have a ton of free resources on that. The best one is my free class at 1kfreelancewriting.com, so you can go check that out, the link, if you would like. But here's an example of how to niche down, more or less, right? Instead of calling yourself a freelance writer, you will call yourself a professional finance copywriter. Just that little switch, adding professional and then adding the niche of finance. Like, how much more authoritative does that sound? A lot, right? And then maybe the top of your freelance writer website, which should be yourname.com, by the way. If you don't have a domain, meaning your name or yourbusinessname.com, click the link down below to get a free one and a huge discount on your hosting from the company I've been using for years and years. But anyway, I'll leave those links down below. This is an example of a headline you could put. I help B2B finance companies get more customers with high converting website copy. Who do you help? What do you do? What is the result? You've got it all right there. This is the kind of headline I need to see at the top of your professional freelance writer website if you want to sell your services. And again, we cover that more with, I think, an example inside of the free class at 1kfreelancewriting.com. Now, what are the skills you got to have for website copywriting? You can start this niche with just good writing skills. And just like with blogging, you can just work with a couple of small local businesses who just simply need well-written content. Like, they're not expecting the world. They just want some good content there, right? use those opportunities to hone your skills, like I told you I did, and grow so you can charge more and eventually write more like conversion copy that drives results, because those type of projects pay really, really well. And again, if you want to learn the 3 steps to making your first 1K freelance writing, even if you got no experience, literally zero, go to 1kfreelancewriting.com and you can check out that free class. All right, on to the third type of freelance writing job. I told y'all this was going to be a crazy in-depth video. But the third one is email newsletters. Here on the right, you see an example of one of my newsletters that I sent out. And yeah, if you're not on my newsletter list, you can do that below. But you probably maybe are. If you are on my newsletter list, you've seen mine and how they're just mostly text with maybe an image thrown in. But this is kind of an example of what an average newsletter might look like. So this just means writing newsletters that companies send out, usually to their list of leads or subscribers. But sometimes these are sent internally to employees too. Like my husband, he is a copywriter as well, and he has a corporate copywriting job. And they have both an internal and an external newsletter. So you can think like there's a lot of opportunities out there in this niche. This is a really in-demand niche. Like all the ones in this video are, but this one especially is like internal and external facing newsletters. It's really cool. Companies you wouldn't think would have one actually do have them. Now, another note I wanted to make here, the structure, style, and design of these can vary greatly by niche. So you saw my newsletter, how it's just that like typical one-line of text newsletter. But if you have like ever subscribed to an e-commerce company's newsletter, like Wayfair for furniture or clothing or makeup or something, it's mostly images and like just a bit about the products. Or like if you abandon your cart while you're shopping, they'll send you an email with that. That would fall more into funnels, which we'll talk about later, but don't want to get ahead of myself. But yeah, it's just something to think about. You really have to niche down because the industry kind of determines the design and layout and copy of the newsletter. Let's talk about pay. It varies, but you can charge a bare minimum of hundreds per newsletter. Even if you're a total beginner, that's what I want you to expect. Do not associate word count or time spent writing with how much you should charge. You charge based on value. This is something I cover inside of my Killer Cold Emailing program. There are maybe a couple instances where you may want to charge based on time, but like 99 or more % of the time, you will have a project rate, okay? So very, very important to think about that as value-based pricing. As with any niche, your pay is going to depend on who you are targeting and how well you are marketing yourself. So are you in a profitable niche? Do you have a website that like advertises your specialization in that niche? Does the client you're targeting have a budget to pay you well? And do they have a newsletter? Like, do they even give a shit about newsletters? Because if they don't, it's going to be a hard sell. Now, here's something really interesting that I want you to take away from you from this video, is that we don't ever want to sell meat to vegans, okay? Think about that. Just paint a mental image of yourself trying to sell meat to a vegan. They're just, at the very least, they're just going to be like, no, I'm good. I don't want that. Like, that's not something that I'm interested in at all. It's the same thing with clients, right? If there's a client who just never in their life has like built their business revenue with an email newsletter and just doesn't give a crap about newsletters, we're not going to push them into getting it. We don't want a hard sell, right? We don't want to sell meat to vegans. That is why we want to go for companies who already have a newsletter, who already are valuing these things. Very, very important. And that is with every single type of freelance writing job I'm covering in this video. Comment below if you have questions about that, because it's a really, really important distinction to make. But some good examples of clients in this niche would be e-commerce companies. Y'all already know if you've ever signed up for some kind of online shopping website or checked out there, you're going to get those notifications in your email inbox with pictures of their latest and greatest products and probably a little bit of text about it. And online course creators. So someone like me, I send out a weekly Thursday newsletter with writing and copywriting tips, linked below if you'd like to join. But yeah, don't feel like it's only marketing or writing course creators. There are course creators out there who write about tarot or have courses about wellness or mental health or whatever. There's just so many opportunities. And e-com and online course creators, those are not even close to the only clients, okay? There's tons of clients out there. I just can't go over every single one because it would just be the longest video on YouTube. But yeah, the point I want to make is that many different types of companies send out regular newsletters. If you have questions about the niche you're considering, just pop it in the comment below and I'll try to help you out. But again, note that some companies have internal newsletters as well as customer-facing newsletters. So this can be a very in-demand skill set. So what are the skills for writing email newsletters, right? What do you got to learn? What do you got to know? Some clients may actually want you to upload, schedule, and send the emails. They may just want someone who makes it so they can take the little file cabinet in their brain that says email newsletters and just throw it into another dimension. That was a really roundabout way of just saying they don't want to think about email newsletters at all. They want that fully off of their plate, right? So in that case, it would help to be familiar with basic email marketing software. And this is so easy to learn. It's like if you can use like Microsoft Word and like use basic softwares, it's super easy. Here's just an example. I use ConvertKit. I'll link them down below in the description, but you can see in the space here, new broadcast, that's ConvertKit's term for newsletter, right? You just put the subject line there and then you type your newsletter and then you hit continue. And of course, there's all kinds of different things. You can do all kinds of functionalities, but at the basic level, this is what you can do, right? And I do want to let you know too, if this is something you're offering, like an all-in-one solution, make sure you're charging a per project rate, or maybe like if it's one email newsletter a week for, per month on retainer, you charge that one retainer amount, right? So if you're charging $500 a newsletter, it would be $2K a month, and that would include the uploading and the sending and all of that or whatever. And $500 is just a number I threw out there. You could be charging a little less or way more. It depends on you and your clients and your skill set and your marketing. But think about how this skill set of uploading it and sending it is a huge value add, because like I said, it allows them to not have to think about their email newsletter at all because you're handling everything. It's not a necessary skill, but it can be a good skill to have if it's something you want to do. Again, not necessary whatsoever, but you can maybe charge a little bit more and include that in your rates if you want. Now, here's another example. Once you kind of grow your skill set, not something to worry about right now if you're a beginner, but you can start aiming for good results. Like this email right here, this is a newsletter I sent out and it had a 44% open rate and an 11% click rate and 1 unsubscriber and 74 clicks. So you can really start digging into the data and start experimenting, A/B testing subject lines, get really nerdy with it. It's a lot of fun seeing these results. And eventually when you drive results, you can use those to get more clients and, go, oh, I write email newsletters. One of my newsletters, resulted in this amount of revenue or this open rate. Different things like that, and your career, like I've said with pretty much every type of freelance writing job in this video, just kind of snowballs as you are committed to growing your skill set. So you can start with low pressure newsletters / clients and then transition into writing funnels, which we'll talk about in a minute, and higher paying projects as you grow your copywriting skills and start getting results with your newsletters. So let me not get ahead of myself, actually. I was going to go talk about funnels, but we're already here. So the next type of freelance writing job is actually email funnels. Now, this is something that is basically a sequence of pre-scheduled emails usually that goes out to a specific subscriber. In ConvertKit, as you can see here on the right, it's called sequences, but different email marketing softwares could call it different things. Don't worry about this stuff if you're freaking out, like, I don't understand this. You can literally just send the client a Word doc with the text that goes in the emails or a Google Doc or whatever. You don't have to dig into this like nerdy email marketing stuff if it's something you're not comfortable with. It's not something that clients are going to demand. But here's an example. So this is one of my funnels. Basically what happens, actually, I think this is the one for if you opt in at 1kfreelancewriting.com, the link at the top there, you will get these emails coming to you. So if you want to see an example of a funnel, you can opt in, go to 1kfreelancewriting.com, and you will start getting these emails and you can see how it's set up. But I'm not sitting here sending out those emails myself every day to dozens of people a day who sign up, right? I have this pre-scheduled. So you can see here, right to the right of my face, how these work, right? 24 hours after someone signs up, they get the first one. 24 hours after the first one, they get the next one, and so on and so forth. So that funnel is basically a sequence of pre-scheduled emails that go out at set times. Let me know if you have questions about this, because it can be a super, super fun niche to write in. So these are sometimes called sequences, like I said, and they're usually meant to turn a lead/subscriber into a paying customer or client, okay? So important distinction from email newsletters. Basically, you're writing a series of emails with a strong sales strategy guiding each part. Very, very different from email newsletters, which can just be informative. Email funnels almost always are meant to sell. There is a specific sequence. There is a specific type of email. It may be a 6-email funnel, and each email has a specific theme and a specific order. These always have a sales strategy guiding them. So what is the pay? I typically would recommend charging like a 4-figure flat rate for a funnel versus breaking it down to rate per email, right? Because we want to charge for value-based stuff and project rates, not for words or emails, because that's not really what we're delivering, right? We're delivering results at this point. And I know that email funnels may seem like, gosh, can I really do that as a beginner? Yeah, you totally can. It may not be like the first project you ever take on. It could be. But if it were me and I was starting out freelance writing today and going, what freelance writing jobs can I do? I would probably take on some smaller email newsletter jobs, like lower pressure, chill stuff that doesn't require as much like sales strategy. While I was doing those jobs, I would be learning funnel patterns, funnel strategies, signing up for different funnels, like the one that I just mentioned at 1kfreelancewriting.com, my own funnel. You can go take a look at it if you want. Signing up for those and learning about those, and then transitioning quickly into writing email funnels. That's something you could do in a matter of months and literally like double your income or whatever. You know, it really just depends on what you're charging and who your clients are. So as always, you will want to target clients who actually use this type of content to drive revenue. This goes back to the thing, we're not going to sell meat to vegans, okay? We are going to sell email funnels to people who actually give a crap about email funnels. If you want to be a well-paid writer, you've got to target companies who are making the revenue to pay you well, okay? And I want you to think about this. One of my favorite things my mentor has told me is get out of your clients' pockets, meaning our clients are not like us. They're not going, oh, let me get in my pocket here and give you this money for the freelancing you're doing. The vast majority of the time, it's some big company. They are not personally attached to whatever income they're paying you with, right? They're not grabbing it from their pocket and going here. They're going, all right, yeah, just take it out of the marketing budget, period. So don't feel like, oh God, should I charge this much? I can't believe I'm charging this much. You are charging that much, and it is totally okay and totally normal. All right, little side rant. Who are the clients for this? Now, again, here, e-commerce companies and online course creators are really great potential clients who often use funnels. In e-com, an example would be a cart abandonment funnel. Sometimes they'll send a couple of emails to you automatically to say, hey, come back and buy this. That would be considered a funnel. And then online course creators, like I said, my funnel that I have linked up there at the top. Yeah, you can check that out if you want, but I'm sure you've probably seen these before. And if not, that's okay. You're seeing it right now. You're learning about it right now. But the thing is, you'll want to avoid pitching companies who virtually never use this kind of thing to get new customers. So think about restaurants, right? Like you would never go to a restaurant because they sent you a sales funnel. Like you're not getting like email funnels from restaurants, right? You're going to go to a restaurant based on Googling your phone and going, oh, let's scroll through the Yelp reviews. So you've got to think about that. You've got to have that sort of empathy for your potential clients and think about how are they making money? If they're making a lot of money with a certain marketing method, they're going to be willing to pay you for help with that method. You know what I mean? So important to think about that. Now, what are the skills you need to write email funnels? You need sales copywriting skills. So I would suggest start learning how to write funnels by studying the funnels of successful businesses and people in the specific niche you want to write in. So if you want to write funnels for e-com, sign up for a lot of e-commerce, like newsletter lists, put some shit in your cart and then desert it, and just study what they do. If you want to write for course creators, sign up for the plethora of online course creators funnels out there, okay? You will see patterns. You will see how to sort of reverse engineer it, right? Because these sequences / funnels have a very particular structure and approach. So you want to look at those things, observe it, analyze it, write down the patterns, think about the writing tone, the structure, because trends can vary by industry. So that's, like I said, why it's so important to niche down and study that one niche, because a funnel for e-commerce looks way different than a funnel for online course creators. It can be helpful, like I had mentioned before, to start just by writing email newsletters. And then maybe you could offer funnels once you've built up your copywriting and marketing skills, you've sort of studied some funnels. And this doesn't have to be something that takes years, right? It's something you could do totally in a matter of months. Entrepreneurship, especially freelance writing, it's just how committed are you? How willing are you to learn, right? You can take a course and learn. You can watch this video and my other videos like that and learn, which, by the way, subscribe if you haven't yet, if you want to, and like this video if it's been helpful. But yeah, it's really about your commitment to becoming a freelance writer. You've got to go for it. You've got to be self-taught at certain things. Just like me, I'm self-taught. I don't have a college degree. All right. Number 5, we finally made it here to the number 5 type of freelance writing job that you can specialize in: online course sales pages. So these are sales pages that are structured a specific way to sell an online course. You may see these across many different industries, from marketing to job training to yoga and beyond. So I've had people come up to me and be like, I want to help course creators, but it's just the same people over and over in marketing and writing niches, right? And I'm like, no, that's just because that's what you're watching right now, because you're learning how to become a freelance writer. So that's all you're seeing, because that's like the marketing you're being exposed to right now, right? Ever since I got a new dog, I've seen dog training courses everywhere, which I need. Not really anymore, but he was a puppy. Anyway, yeah, dog training courses, tarot courses, meditation courses, from not only independent creators like myself, but also bigger companies who offer courses. Like I took a mindfulness-based stress reduction course, like an official MBSR course. So think beyond people like me who are here on YouTube teaching marketing or whatever, because there are so many opportunities out there to help these type of companies. Yeah, like I said here, marketing to dog training to yoga and beyond. All right, here's one of my course sales pages from my recent launch at killercoldemailing.com. That is my best-selling program on how to start freelance writing. Hopefully the sound didn't mess up when a school bus went by just now. But anyway, this is just like a small screenshot of the top of the sales page, and here is like the next part of the sales page. I'm not going to read all that. You can go see the sales page if you want. Go to killercoldemailing.com and opt in. You can read the whole freaking thing if you want to. It is long, so I'm not going to read it for you. But let's talk about the pay for this type of project. So sales pages, guys, these can pay very well, especially if you're marketing yourself the right way and generating results for clients, okay? You can definitely expect at least 4 figures, definitely multiple 4 figures per sales page. So awesome niche, right? Now the thing is, you will likely take on fewer of these projects, right? It'll take a little bit longer, you'll do fewer, versus something like blog posts. Less frequent jobs, but with higher per project pay. So a blog post, super easy to start out in, do like $400 per post, 4 times a month, once a week, right? $1,600 a month. Whereas you may just write like 1 sales page per month and charge $4K for it. So you just got to think about what you're more comfortable with. In a note too, I cannot tell you exactly what to charge. No one can. I don't care how much they say they can or whatever. Nobody can. All the rates in this video are general ideas. I mean, if I talked to you and I knew your entire situation, I could, but I just mean in the context of this video, I can't give you an exact rate. So just want to let you know. But anyway, the clients in this niche are online course creators, and even though I didn't put this on the slide here, those bigger course companies. Like, for example, like I said, I took a mindfulness-based stress reduction course, and it was awesome, by the way. Highly recommend if you're into that sort of thing. It's really cool. And that was like a bigger company. It wasn't an independent creator here on YouTube like myself. So think bigger than just what you're being exposed to. Think about different types of niches, all the possibilities, because you'll find course creators in all kinds of niches, from wellness to business to dog training and beyond. And every single one of them needs a sales page. If they don't have a sales page, they don't have a business, right? So one cool way to find these clients is just by searching social media, especially YouTube and IG. Okay, so people who are teaching informational, educational content like myself here on YouTube, and some people who do like Instagram, they are selling courses a lot of the time. They have those communities. Pitching them directly can be a great way to get clients, but, and this is important, make sure you have a niche and a pro writer website first. You cannot pitch or cold email if you don't have a niche, a profitable niche and a clientele, more specifically, then a professional portfolio website, yourbusinessname.com, with professional writing samples that are niche relevant. Only then do you move on to step 3, which is pitching and cold emailing. So wanted to make that clear. You can learn all about that at 1kfreelancewriting.com, the link up there in the corner. Here's an example, right? So back here I said you've got to have a niche and a pro writer website before you can start pitching these type of clients. Maybe I should have made a different mock-up for this example, but basically you would say, I write copy that helps online course business owners get more customers. Or actually you'd say, I write sales page copy that helps online course businesses get more students. Something like that goes on your website. You can see how your marketing is working to actually sell you as the freelance writer. So important to do that. What are the skills here? Well, if you want to write online course sales pages, you have to learn how to write sales pages that drive results. This is another one of those things similar to funnels where I'm going to say it may not be the first project you ever take on, but can you do it as a beginner, meaning in like your first year or so? Absolutely, you can do it as a beginner. It just depends on how willing are you to learn. Now, if you want me to do a video on how to write a sales pages, maybe right up there with newsletters as currently my favorite thing to write. So I would love to do that. Just let me know if you'd like me to do it and I'll break it down. But often in this kind of niche, you will start with a smaller client. So you're probably not going to go for this glamorous multiple 7-figure business owner who has 10 million Instagram followers, right? They're going to have higher expectations, but maybe the course creator who just started this year and is making like multiple 5 figures or low 6 figures, they might be more willing to work with you even if you're a beginner and don't have a lot of testimonials and results yet. So another important point here, but sales page projects should always pay well. This is not $200 for a project. These are 4 figures, multiple 4 figures projects. Very important for you to think about. So if you're wondering how to get started with any of these types of freelance writing jobs, how to break into freelance copywriting, even with 0 experience, I do want to make sure to invite you to my free class at 1kfreelancewriting.com. Like I said, it is kind of also cool because you get to see what an email funnel is and you get to see how mine actually works. And yeah, obviously the main draw is you get the free class, 3 steps to 1K freelance writing in 45 days or less, even if you have 0 experience. So go to the link and check that out. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Here are some other ways to work with me. You can get my free 101 niches guide, the free training on how to make 1K freelance writing with no experience. That is my most popular free resource. Or you can go ahead and join my paid course and start getting paid to write ASAP at killercoldemailing.com. Like I said, you guys, I've been teaching this for a long ass time. I cannot believe it has been about 8 years now. Let me know if you've been around here since the beginning, since back in the days when I had pink and purple hair and all that kind of stuff. I always like to know who's been around here for a while. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a lot about freelance writing jobs. Gosh, we're at 40 minutes now. This is probably the longest, if not definitely one of the longest videos I've ever posted here on YouTube, but I really wanted to give you guys something in depth based on what you've been asking me about. So I really hope this was helpful. I love making these videos for y'all, and I will make them as long as y'all keep watching them. So let me know what other questions you have or what other topics you would like me to cover here. And go to 1kfreelancewriting.com if you want to take that free class, or go to writingrevolt.com to learn more about their ways to work with me. But yeah, I think that is all for now. Thank y'all so much for watching as always, and I will see you in the next video.